Ivaska from Latvia. She's based here for more than 2.5 years now. Lasma is here. Oh, lovely. Lasma, the floor is yours, and her presentation will be followed by a short Q&A session as well. So if you happen to have some questions, please stay in the room and face it to Lasma. And the floor is yours, so please come up to the stage, and then we find your presentation, and you can just start and rock. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm happy to be here, and thank you for the invitation. My presentation will be a bit different than the previous conversations I've heard. It's rather a personal lessons learned or personal takeaways from being involved in building an innovation ecosystem back home. So I hope it's relevant for those who want to bring connections closer, and you can compare and contrast with what you have seen in Hungary or in other nearby countries as well. So as it's a personal journey, personal presentation, I wanted to start with introducing what I have done. As it was mentioned, I'm from Riga, Latvia. I've been here for 2.5 years. My background is in market research and consulting. I specifically worked with helping Baltic companies to get outside of the Baltic market. So how to get outside of the small, in some cases 1 or 2 or 3 million population markets to larger ones. And afterwards, I worked with developing open innovation framework in Accenture. We worked both with startups and with universities, but primarily with startups. And afterwards, I was involved in a really interesting initiative of developing the first innovation district in Riga. That will be also the main topic of my presentation today, how we did it, how we got there. And now I'm here at University of Art and Design, MOME, and I'm the head of Innovation Center. And for those that haven't heard of MOME before or haven't been to the campus, this is one of our buildings. We are the largest design research center in Eastern Europe and among the largest in the whole CEE. It's actually a really great privilege for Hungary to have such a large design-driven research center. We were opened in 2019, so we have had some first years behind us. Of course, a lot of trial and error, still trying to figure out how to do things best. What we do at the Innovation Center, as I mentioned, we work with design research, and the idea is to understand what design can do besides helping the creative industries. So we try to mix design with healthcare, design with food and agriculture, and different type of industries, and see what value it adds. Second of all, we are also helping to upskill professionals in design thinking, service design, etc., to help them be more prepared and use this mindset also in their everyday lives. And last but not least, we also have an incubation program. The head of our incubation program, Craig, will also be involved in one of the panel discussions later, so he will share a bit what we do there. But going to the topic, so I wanted to talk about 3 levels of the lessons learned, about the state, about the company, and also about the individual level of activities that contribute to bringing the ecosystem partners together. So first of all, I will talk about the company level because that's the part where I've been involved the most. So my story starts with the Innovation District, VEF, that's the name of it. As you can see in the map of Riga, it's located in quite a central area. And it is actually quite a famous area in the country because VEF actually means State Electrotechnical Factory. So it's an old factory, it's an industrial location that was let down, and then it's gotten taken over by tech companies, startups, and IT firms. So this is how VEF area looked in 1919. If you look at the building at the bottom, it's actually how it still looks like. And what we like to say back home is that VEF was kind of the original Latvian startup because it's built starting from small micro cameras to airplanes. And their most famous, most innovative product, actually you can see there at the bottom, it's an analog camera, analog photo camera, and it's still the smallest one in the world. It, of course, has lost its relevance nowadays with digital photography, but that was one where it started, and it went to the field of airplanes. In the end of 90s, sorry, of the 80s, VEF was disbanded. The industrial area was left without really much activity and life. And step by step, some new things started happening. And what we realized in 2019 is that this is such a hotspot for different IT companies that are working side by side each other. All of them have offices there, but they are not really connected in any type or form. And when we did the calculations, we realized that this area, it's one square kilometer, basically. It creates 45% of Latvia's total IT exports, including services, including products. So it's huge. And the fact that they are right next door can be used somehow. And we started partnering together also with the real estate developers that are continuing developing this district, as well as with retailers, VEF Cultural Center, and also the telco Latvian mobile phone. And we came together. There were five initial founders that came together and said, we need to refresh the VEF district, and they put the name together, and it's called VEFresh. And the idea is that how can we make this place as a smart city test area, and also a better place for people to live in and enjoy their lives at the urban center of Riga. And in 2 years' time span, we actually managed to lobby also the local Riga municipality government to give this place a special status called an innovation pilot zone, which means that companies, smart city companies, were able to put their innovations on the actual streets in a much faster timeline. Do any of you work with smart city products? Is there anyone? Okay, three people. Then you might know how difficult the actual journey is, even if you want to put a small sensor of this size on a street. It actually takes you many months. We calculated and we did some case studies that in Riga, to put like small sensor like this on a light pole with electricity, it can take you at least 9 months, because you have to get permission from that place, permission from there. They don't agree with each other. So it's a huge mess. And if for corporations it takes about 9 months, then for startups they have already, disbanded and died by the time there are sensors actually on the street. So that was the idea behind this innovation zone, to have this process faster. And Riga municipality heard us. And I also wanted to share what was the format of this collaboration. So the format was that the companies came together and created an NGO that was in charge of organizing both this lobbying, all of the activities, and the name of the NGO was VEFresh. It's still active. It's running smart city hackathons and urban mobility incubator. Yeah, but one of the lessons that I wanted to share is that if there is a neutral platform like an NGO, it can also bring competitors together to work on shared problems. So the shared problem was the impossibility to get the innovations on streets. It wasn't experienced by one company, but by the 45% of Latvia's export creators. And by having a neutral platform, it actually helped to have this critical mass towards communication towards the municipality. And second thing I wanted to mention is that proximity helps a lot. So often we in the digital age, we like to think that, it doesn't matter where you're located, and to some extent it doesn't. But if you actually have a lot of companies working side by side, it is much easier to organize a meeting. It is much easier to run in each other just on the stairways or on the streets. So I think that's also something that is worth capitalizing on. And for those that want to build ecosystems, maybe it's first important to think about who do you have nearby and not start with international partners as the first step. The second thing I wanted to mention is about the state level and state level's contribution to the innovation ecosystem building, because as I mentioned, the FRESH initiative started in 2019, but actually in 2018, so a year before, the Ministry of Economics in Latvia started to create these leader groups, and there was not really any formal setup for this. They basically invited people who talk about smart cities to sit at the same table, get to know each other, and they gave some tasks to figure out what should be the roadmap to make the smart city initiatives in Latvia on a better quality. And I think that's an important step, because even if we know that we have similar organizations, similar like-minded people sitting nearby, starting from having somebody initiate this dialogue, it can mean a lot. And also giving them tasks, making them actually work together. So while the FRESH initiative is a corporate and real estate development initiative, the back of it roots actually to the ministry initiative. And the last part is the individual level. And here I wanted to share a story that I've had also from working in the same organization, the FRESH. This is a picture of University of Tartu in Estonia. We don't have anyone from Estonia here today, as I understand. But yeah, that's University of Tartu. And my story was that we were putting together a grant proposal as an NGO, like a Baltic grant proposal together. And we wanted to involve University of Tartu as one of the partners. So I reached out to them, and I said, this is what we want to do. You seem very relevant for us. Let's apply together. And the guy responded to me that, yes, this sounds amazing. Let's do this. I will also bring this extra NGO on board. I was like, okay, sure, that's good. And we had a call, and in the call, actually, it turned out that the University of Tartu, they actually don't want to submit the tender with us. They don't actually want to collaborate, but they really would want us to collaborate with this NGO, whom they are not in any way connected. They just wanted to support the NGO's search for partners. They thought this is a good opportunity for them. And they connected us, and they spent the whole brainstorming session together with us to help to shape it in a better way. And then they just disconnected, and that was it of their involvement in this grant. And afterwards, we talked about, back home about this, that this really shows the strength of individuals' contribution to creating an ecosystem. You saw the slide previously where Estonia has the most unicorns per country in CEE. And I think the fact that they do try to help each other out, even if it's not relevant for them, they don't just like, okay, thanks, reach out to this company, but they invest their personal time in helping other ecosystem members. And I've actually had these type of interactions and this type of attitude also in some cases here in Hungary. So I think if we can somehow make this as a standard and facilitate people sharing good initiatives between themselves and helping to find partners, I think that can be very powerful because ecosystems are not necessarily made just by state top down. I think there's a huge bottom-up activity that has to be taken into account. Yeah, so you can be the connection point for this. So just to sum up, I think if the state can initiate a dialogue, if companies can find a neutral platform for collaboration, either it's a cluster, either it's association, a university, an NGO, and if individuals can be the connection points and share ideas with others and share opportunities with others, then that's, I think, a good possibility of building a startup or any kind of innovation ecosystem. Köszönjük a figyelmet.
Bravo, thank you very much, Lasma. It was a very nice speech, a very nice presentation. Now we have a very short time for questioning. Does anyone has any question to Lasma? Okay, maybe in the lunchtime. Great. Thank you very much. And now